How's it going, everybody? My name is Faze Crypto. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Clout. We've talked about it before on here, but we'll talk about it again, and that's the fact that the future of the internet is decentralized. There are so many various different components of decentralizing media that are going to be having a significant advantage over the way that things have been operating as of now and up till this point. It's my belief that over a long amount of time, in my opinion, we'll be seeing technologies like Tron really overcoming the current way that people recognize doing things. It's one of those fundamental ways that cryptocurrency has a significant advantage over the way that things are happening. It's really going to be a hallmark of the paradigm shift that we're currently witnessing as cryptocurrency technology makes available a whole new world of potential that's really starting to rise up, and it comes a long way when we see how Tron's currently worth 8 cents at the time of making this video, and it is interesting to see Tron in that number 9 position. I definitely believe that Tron has the potential to rise up the ranks and be possibly in the top 5. In particular, we will certainly see what's happening with Tron and how the future layout will go after the mainnet launch. I would say around June 2nd, we will have a pretty interesting indicator of what's going to be happening in respect to Tron as far as how the community has been reacting. Looking at the various news regarding Tron, it is interesting to see how these news articles are basically really looking forward to the potential, and it is really exciting to see so many people this interested in decentralized platforms. I think that as we continue to move forward, we'll start to see this trend building in a really important way that's going to be playing a significant role in the future of these technologies in totality. The fact that Tron is getting so much attention lately is really a good sign for the future of decentralized media. I certainly believe that there's a ton of potential in store for the decentralized web, and the sooner we get to that point is going to be a lot better, because a lot of these various different media platforms that have risen to dominance lately, like YouTube and so forth, they've started to abuse their platform, and they remove content for basically no reason, and a lot of the user base is getting pretty stressed out with this sort of you could say censorship and so forth is a big issue, and it's not as big an issue when it comes to more decentralized platforms that really don't manipulate things hands-on. Now, I realize a lot of people say that websites like Steam and these various different, and DTube, all these different platforms will eventually rise in dominance and then essentially act the similar way, but I would say that that's not necessarily true. We have a potential to really reverse the tides and have an internet that's based on basically having people like the old way that the internet was, where there was edgy content and there was regular content as well, but it wasn't as hand-picked and organized. Things were allowed to organically grow, and that's ultimately what these sort of platforms have going for them, is basically the user interaction with the platform is far superior. If we can hope, we can definitely hope that. Of course, when it comes to decentralized platforms, it is the way of the future, and we'll be seeing a lot of these different variables coming together in a short time. And it is interesting to see how a lot of people have been talking about these different variables as they've been coming together. I definitely believe in Justin's son. I think that the Tron team is really hardworking, and I think moving forward we're going to be seeing a lot of interesting things happening in respect to the Tron technology as it's been developing, and across the board a lot of cryptocurrency is going to be shaken up by the recent events that have been taking place in respect to the totality of the way that the public consciousness perceives these technologies. When it comes to Tron decentralizing the components of the internet that we've been witnessing, basically servicing media for such a long time, you have to consider what's been happening up until this point. We've had websites that have essentially been dominating the space where media is provided and where people are used to getting this type of technology. You take Google and YouTube, for example, and one of the main problems that's essentially creeping up on YouTube and Google and will continue to build over the next period of time is the fact that YouTube is far too centralized for its own good. Overall, as the future continues to move forward and these big platforms that, sure, I'm not denying the power that YouTube currently has. Certainly, Google, YouTube, all these various different media platforms that have already established themselves are going to be forces to be reckoned with. However, as we see these technologies that are using cryptocurrency and leveraging the potential that's made available by decentralized components of media providing, the fact of the matter is the way of doing things that's more efficient and the way of doing things that provides a better user experience will ultimately have its way in the long run. We're seeing it happen right now with how Tron's popularity has really been skyrocketing. There's a lot of interest surrounding Tron, basically as people are interested in these different variables when it comes to decentralized platforms. And it is something to be said, the fact that Tron has come so far in such a short amount of time. It really shows the community demand for this sort of technology, and I'm definitely looking forward to the June 1st, in particular the end of May 31st, Mainnet launch, and all these different variables coming together. It is really exciting to see how the community is built around Tron, and we've seen a really strong building as we've continued to move forward. So a lot of interesting variables compiling in respect to Tron and the potential that's in store for it. I'd actually recommend that everybody go and follow Tron on their official Twitter, just so that you could stay up to date regarding these technologies and so forth. Twitter is a really great resource when it comes to staying up to date regarding cryptocurrencies, and we actually have a new Twitter that we're branching out into so that we can basically continue to provide this sort of community interaction. So I'll be including a link to the new Twitter at Clout. I'll be including a link to this video down. I'll be including a link to this Twitter down in the description. Also, you can follow us at the official Twitter as well, at CryptoTuber. I think it's important for us to be building basically across all various different social media platforms, and I'm looking forward to basically spreading out the show to using platforms like Steam and DTube in particular, so that we can essentially, as a cryptocurrency community, we should be consuming our media through decentralized platforms as much as possible. And in particular, if you're a supporter of Steam or Tron or any of these various different basically platforms, you might want to consider basically finding out and using their platforms and really getting an idea of what they're planning and where they are and basically what's set up in the future. So it is interesting to see how things have been developing in such a short amount of time. The fact of the matter is we're currently looking at a $381 billion market cap, and it is interesting to see. I still believe that we're in a space of sort of a correction that's sort of been happening since the all-time highs we were seeing at a certain point in 2018, 2017. But it is interesting to see how these variables have been coming together. And of course, remember, standard disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. The whole purpose of me making this video is for me to share my opinion, and that's exactly what this video is. It's just me sharing my opinion. So if you would make sure that you share your opinion. You could send us any information that you find interesting to the Clout Twitter. And yeah, it is interesting to listen to different people's opinions. And in the spirit of listening to various different opinions, I'm actually going to be including a link to this Aimstone video that goes into really interesting detail regarding the potential that's in store for Tron as we've been moving forward and as we're seeing the technology develop and what it's it's going to be as we continue to move forward into the future. So a lot of interesting things happening involving Tron, respectively, across the board as we see this technology really developing and coming into its own. So of course, remember to subscribe to the channel and comment down below letting me know what you think about Tron. Of course, follow the Twitter and the other Twitter. And if you guys have any interesting shout outs or any YouTube content creators that you'd like for us to feature and give a shout out on the show, feel free to send us those links on Twitter. And of course, if you yourself make cryptocurrency content, you might have a chance to be featured in an upcoming episode. If you are interested, you can contact us through Twitter as well. That's the way that we will be coordinating all these future basically plans. And if you have any suggestions for guest hosts and so forth, also be interested in those things as well. So definitely go and make sure that you check out this video right here if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Tron. He talks about a lot of the similar things that we've spoken about in this video, and of course expands upon those details in an interesting way. So all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.